So I hope you guys enjoyed part one of how I built the fireplace, and then this is going to be part two, how I built the surrounding walls in the patio. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to try and explain why I did what and how I did it. But as usual, if you guys have any questions, leave me a comment. I'll be happy to try and answer it. And thanks for watching. So what you see here is where I'm picking up at year two. I'm just sort of slowly feeling out what this wall is going to look like, and I've used a pretty low-tech method. That center stake in the middle, I've got a string tied to, and then I've got two markings on it, one for the inside of the wall and one from the outside of the wall. And I'm just sweeping that in a big circle to define the inner and outer edges of the wall and placing stones based on that. And I did actually include a third reference mark to gut check myself at throughout the project. So that was the center of the wall, which lines up with the mounting point on the sonotubes, and that allowed me to just periodically check I was still in line and nothing had moved. And then those sonotubes served as a valuable reference mark throughout the project. So what I did early on was define a level line across all four of them, so I could have the height of the wall just clearly marked to work off of. So up until this stage of the project, I had been sorting and separating the rocks by hand. So it was at this point I built this rock screen, and it made separating and sorting and cleaning all of the stones I used much easier. So I got a piece of free wire fence, and then I built the frame out of 2x6s and basically essentially built it around my tractor. So it is just high enough so at full height I can dump the bucket over the top. So my strategy for choosing rocks and fitting stones was pretty straightforward. I tried to always find a flat face to put either to the inside or the outside whenever possible. And then outside of that, I used real rough measurements, like is it the size of a fist, or the size of an open hand, or two open hands. This was just my low-tech is best-tech policy, used throughout the project, really. And I split very few rocks throughout this whole thing. My strategy really was just to clean and sort an excess amount of material, and then I had more than enough to choose and work from when building the wall. I didn't really want to be shaping and fitting stones. That was beyond what I could do at this point. In terms of construction strategy, I tried to be as wide as possible at the base of the wall, so anywhere that was going to be below the patio grade, I made wider than 2 feet just to give it some extra stability, and then through stones as many as possible. Anywhere that I could get a stone that went all the way through or mostly through the wall, I was doing that to try and tie everything together. And then overlapping joints. I tried very hard to make sure I didn't have joints that lined up. That was something that I had consistently read leading up to this process, was just no overlapping joints. That makes for a much stronger wall in any masonry work, really. Overall, I would say the hardest part of this process, I think, was doing the top of the wall, finding a sufficient amount of flat stones and finding the right size stones to get just to the right height. So if you're going to embark on something like this, definitely make sure you're anticipating doing that. So here I am getting more bricks and granite, and I've got 3 steps on the lower side and 1 step on the upper side, and that is because the lawn and the grate on the outside of the patio drops. And after the first video, I had a couple of good questions about how the drainage works, so here's a pretty good shot of that. There's a fabric that goes right on the ground that separates the dirt from the drainage material. And then there's the corrugated pipe, or the French drains, and then the 3/4 stone on top. And then ultimately what's going to happen is I will put like a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch pea stone on top of the 3/4 stone, and then all my bricks and pavers gets laid on top of that. And here you can see I've laid the last 3 steps on the lower side, and then I am kind of working the 2 sides right up to the sides of the step. And this was a really satisfying part of the project. You'll see I've got a chair in the center there now, and I was starting to get a real sense for what it was like to sit on the patio, which is elevated above the yard, gives me a great view of what's going on, and just a fantastic place to relax. I spent a lot of afternoons just sitting there before the patio was complete. And I was told these circle packs were going out of style a little bit when I purchased these. I don't know if that's actually the case, but as a novice bricklayer, so to speak, it made laying a round pattern in the center of a patio a lot easier. If you're new to it like I was, I couldn't recommend it more. It was very easy to work with and just a breeze. There's a paper template you follow and you just lay it down in a pattern. And here I'm just putting the final finishing touches on that last corner of the wall that ties into the left-hand side of the fireplace. And then here's a shot from my deck. This is what I see when I stand on the deck with the grill and just look out over the backyard. This last portion of the project came together real quick for me, so the tops of the steps were perfectly level with one another. I didn't pitch it because I had made this permeable paver design. The water is meant to run straight down through the pavers and be picked up by the French drains, and that's been working out great for me. It probably took a day to do the circle pack and the bricks. That was just a breeze. It felt like all of the work I had leading up to it really paid off and made that last portion really simple. And all of those joints were laid intentionally with about a half-inch gap between them. And then there is a larger aggregate, like a pea stone, that gets put between them. And that's by design, so the water can migrate down fast. Time will tell if that was really the best strategy, but that has been in place for about 5 years, and it still looks pretty flat to me. I don't think it's moved at all, so I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I used the same strategy on the entryway walk. French drain underneath, lots of the 3/4 stone, and then the pea stone with the same spacing, and that's held up nicely there as well. And then here we see the first appearance of the perimeter drain. I covered that outside French drain with a brick edging. That makes mowing the lawn a lot easier. Every couple of weeks I'll edge it with a string trimmer, but it's super low maintenance. And here's my upper walk going in. French drain again, or fabric, French drain, then 3/4 stone, and then the bricks on top. And this seems to be pretty rugged, so I've got a path there where the tractor's sitting in that picture, and I drive my Kubota BX over those bricks back and forth, and they stay put. So they haven't broken, and everything just seems to be staying in place. And here's where I wrapped up with year 2. Finished patio, 2 walks, just a great place to hang out and enjoy a fire with some friends. And here was my first iteration of Christmas lights. I thought it looked fantastic, but these string lights didn't hold up for more than a season, so I've been moving on to the Govee lights, and hopefully those last a little bit longer. I enjoy the ability to just change their color from my phone. So I just wanted to show everybody my fireplace a little bit at night. This is what I like to do when I'm not setting up for a full fire. I just put a couple little oil candles in the fireplace. It's a nice little bit of light, doesn't really throw heat, but it's really simple to set up and takes only a couple seconds to put it out and head back inside. So if I'm just out here for a few minutes and want to enjoy it, that's what I can do. Alright guys, so thanks again for watching, especially if you got all the way to this point. If you have any questions on what I did, feel free to ask and I'll try and answer them for you. And we'll see you in the next video.